Okay, I think we are live. Hopefully, I think we are streaming in all the three platforms today. It's LinkedIn and Twitter and YouTube as well. So I just refresh this. Hopefully, yeah, we are live. Perfect. Okay, let people set in, and then we start today's live stream session. It will be our third live stream session. So just on Monday, we had Viral and Martin build cyberpunk app in
That
Databutton.
was such a great session.
Yeah,
Oh,
that was
it's
so
so
good. That was
funny.
so good. Yeah, and I think like the best part was they were just so chill and building from there, like the entire app. Super good, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. So while people settle in, I'll just quickly check if it works. Yeah, it works in Twitter as well. And yeah, perfect. Okay. Hello, everyone. I will just quickly put up our link to the live poll and also what me and Elle was playing around with this. Let's add it. Let's add to stage. So we're just saying that what is our favorite feature in Databutton, and you guys can actually try it out. It's in the YouTube comment section already. Yeah, you can just find it in the comment section as well.
Yeah.
So if you have any feature, yeah, and you can just do a live poll out here, and we see Michael there. Hey guys.
Hey Mike.
Yeah. And yeah, this is the link. So if you have any feature which you think you like it about Databutton, which we're gonna speak today, speak a lot about it. Elle is here with us. So yeah, that would be great. And meanwhile, I will just give a quick intro about who we are and what is Databutton. I love it. Riz is here also. Abracadabra. That's always his intro. The first game I get. Abracadabra. Hey Riz, nice to have you here. Yeah. Okay, so I'll just give a quick intro. I am a bro. I am looking after the Databutton community. And today we have today with us amazing Elle, who is one of the OG builders of Databutton. I think Elle is like everyone who is in the Discord community knows Elle. The apps which she has built, why she is building it, and all her prompt tips. So I think I'm really happy that Elle, you are here with us. So it'd be great, Elle, if you just give a quick intro.
Yeah, sure. As you say, I've been with I'm using Databutton for a long time, and I remember the first time I actually found Databutton was through one of your videos, Avra, and I was amazed. I'm pretty sure I've told you that before, but yeah. And since then, I just think the community, the culture, the feel of the team was just there, and yeah, you haven't got rid of me yet. So I work as a data scientist. That's kind of like, I guess, my trade, and I work as a freelancer. So I'll build like technical content and things like that, but also do some annotation work for AI, just super fun stuff. And in my spare time, I build applications. I also dedicate a lot of my time to volunteering in Robotics and Coding Club with children. I feel it's really important to help the next generation learn about AI and data science and hands-on, fun things. Yeah. And I get a lot of love from that. So yeah, that's a bit about me.
No, it's so nice to hear. Yeah, we will come to a lot about that, what you are building for them, how you are helping this communities. It's really, I would really love to hear, and I think a lot of people out here would love to hear about it, because this has a reason why you are building, for whom you are building, and about your passion. And I think that's great, actually. But before we go there, I'll just steal a few minutes here and there just to let everyone know, the new viewers here, that what Databutton is, and yeah, like anything about the community, which I would also put up here meanwhile, so that everyone can, if they're interested to hop in our community, they can do it this way. Let me see how it works, this part. Okay, I'll just share the LinkedIn link a little later then. Yeah, but Databutton is a full stack AI app builder, and Databutton builds app both rather in Python as the backend and React as the front end, and it's the agent who does the entire trick. So the agent writes the code in both in React and in Python, and then you integrate together, and we have a full stack app. And this is something which, like Elle, lot of us, we are building in Databutton, we're a fan of Databutton, and we love to build it. And we think that the agent is very conversational in nature. That also comes where agent really help us to build a full stack app. And we have a lot of apps which is getting deployed every day. And there were, what it reminds me when I see today in the Discord community right now is one of the app built by Reese. Reese is here. I will just quickly share that app, which he actually launched over the product hunt. And this is his app actually, My Color Match. So if anyone right now is in product hunt, would be great. Yes, I can see. Riz is here. That's him. And he actually built this with Databutton and he launched it. And I would be really, really happy. Like people show love, a lot of love out there. And the funny part is I tried this app. Let's see if I have this tab open. Oh yeah, this is me. And it checks the color of which color suits me and with which actress I have similarities with. So I have this dark rust color. I don't know if Elle, you have tried this app, by the way. It's pretty sick. Okay, and it goes here and my color palette for this particular, let's say season, and the colors I should avoid. For sure, I should avoid these pastel colors.
That's a shame.
And I have celebrity color matches. Yes.
Nice.
Michael is saying, I can't wait for my wife to let me know what she thinks about it. Oh, please. I think this will be great.
I'm going to be trying this one out. I did like it, upvote it on Product Hunt. It's insane. This is such a great app.
I think this is a good app, and it will be great if we show a lot of love in this Product Hunt launch out here. It's already 20 upvote. So it would be great if people love votes here. I already added the link in the comment section. Yeah. Okay, so that's a quick intro about Databutton, me, Elle here, and I think now it's time for some app building or the apps which Elle has built over the past couple of months or even more, and it would be nice to know more about it, the journey, especially how Elle has built it. I think that would be great, Elle. So
yeah, definitely. I'd love to share that. Yeah, let's go into it. So yeah, if you want to share my screen, we'll keep this going, so we'll have a look at this at the end. But yeah, I guess the first one I'll show you is going to be Neuro Mermaid AI, and kind of like the passion behind this is to support people with ADHD. So as an ADHD brain person, I don't know how to say it, someone who has I struggle with ADHD symptoms, and one of the things I realized that when I was learning, and even when I'm using any sort of even applications and things like that, and just trying to read through content and blog posts, I just really struggle to stay focused, concentrate. So this was designed to help people to kind of break down information, uses Cohere's models. I'm still working on a few UI things, but I use Cohere's models to generate, because based on your query, it will search the internet. It's all part of their connected tool, and it will have grounded sources to it as well. So, for example, steps to create a quiz app. So it might be something I'm researching about for my application, and it kind of just breaks it all down for me. I can see where the sources come from. I love the way that Databutton was able to sort of build out these individual components to make it look like super neat. And as you go down, another thing, so it generates that through Cohere's models, and then it takes what the content there, and then it will generate a syntax for a mind map. So behind this is Mermaid.js, and you can see here that it's kind of taken. You were using the Mermaid.js package, the Python package, or the nice. Which again is another thing that's awesome, is being able to to leverage other tools within the world, essentially. Like anything that you can see out there, you can bring into Databutton. Like it's the agent knows about Mermaid.js as well, .js. So what is under the hood here is just written out in a certain syntax in a certain way, and the library will render it in this way. So I guess for me, like when I was experimenting with this, it was kind of, I think it was 2023 in January, GPT had just come out. And I was like, what if I could get it to generate the syntax that I need? I was no idea if it did or not, if it would. And when it did, I was like, this is insane. Like I could really do something with this. So I built my prototype in V1 Databutton when it was Streamlit days. And then I rebuilt it within this environment, and it's just so powerful. My next kind of features for this are going to be around adding different ways to use your own content. So YouTube videos, you can upload documents, create notes. So it becomes this kind of environment where you can upload anything that you want and you want to learn about, and information that you have. And it's just the space to keep you focused, keep it contained. And I also built this little fun feature in here, which is a place you can go to, and if you're feeling a bit distracted, you can have a little bit of a play. So
this is cool.
I've got something that you press buttons, and yeah, it kind of does all that. But this
wait. So,
sorry.
This is pretty cool actually. How
Right.
how did you build this part? The create. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I was just like, I was kind of like, because when we go into Sparky's lab in a minute, you'll see why, maybe where I got the inspiration for these things. But this was just literally saying, like, I want to build this, like, for example, the physics place. You can just add boxes and toggle the gravity. I mean, this is just simple code, really, in the scheme of things. Like, the agent knows this stuff. It's really not hard for the agent to do something like this. And it was just really easy to be able to go, I want to create this space, this new page that people can go to, and I want it to have games. And it's modular now as well, so I can add more games as I see fit. So yeah.
Well, I'm just curious, like how do you, like, I'm sorry to interrupt here, but the rendering part which you do for this physics stuff where the boxes are falling, so how do you do it? Is it in the front end, or is it the back end which is doing this rendering?
Front end. Yeah.
Oh. And is it like a specific package which you have used which helps in doing that?
No, so you can build this using HTML, JavaScript, CSS. So I guess it's an iframe, I'd imagine. So it's just kind of this sandbox environment that you can place it in and then have that within your app.
Oh,
yeah.
Pretty cool. Yeah.
So yeah, and so with I think with AI, the way I see it, and the way for me in this community, specifically for people with ADHD, I just see it as an enabler. And, you know, it really enables us to be able to have, like, access information and knowledge without the overwhelm. And then compare that with having the ability to create your own app in your own way, in your own style. It's just magic. I mean, I can create like a mood tracker that I want it can be my way, the way I want it. If I want to add a feature, I just ask the agent to add it. And it's part of, you know, what I've paid for already. So, you know, if I want to put AI in there, I know that I've created it, and it's not going to be shared anywhere else. It's all built for me, kind of thing.
That's pretty good. And I'm just wondering, like, because this, what I see, is pretty complex, like to have a front end with all this rendering stuff. How did you come to here? Like, how was the building process? I'm just curious. Like, did you build it one shot prompt, or did you go through steps? Like, how do you work it out?
Well, I guess, like, what I'm learning at the moment is an awful lot about, I think, if you think about the hybrid approach to this kind of role that we're now getting, and we have as builders, is we're not having to go too deep into the code and be just the developer. We can now have a broader role where we're at the beginning of the product, where we're saying, well, this is what I want to build. This is why I want to build it. You don't necessarily have to focus too much on the how, like the nitty-gritty of the how, or have that skill set, because
Hmm.
you have this assistant, this agent that is now able to work with you. Even at the ideation stage, I shared a prompt in the Discord community, just showing the steps that I take to get to my ideation. And those steps, because the AI agent doesn't take, and it doesn't use any credits. So it's all kind of that process, doesn't use credits for the ideation bit.
That's
You
a
can,
that's a nice hack you revealed now.
sorry about that.
No, no, it's great. It's good. I think
But I
that's a
think it
learning
just,
part.
yeah, I think the thing is though, sometimes it's good to take that step back. Like you have to take that step back sometimes. If you're going in to experiment, crack on, see what happens. I fully think that's
I
such a good idea.
No,
But
I,
when
I
you,
I really love it. Like when you share those tips. I think I know today you shared over Discord as well. This tips and it's very funny. Like when the agent, at least in Databutton, when the agent does not write the code, it does not consume any credit, right?
yeah,
So you can actually plan a lot with the agent. The entire
uh-huh,
app building can be planned out there, and then you can ask the agent to confirm with you, go along with you, and then build something.
yeah. And it's such an important step because there's things that you don't know what you don't know, right? So if you're starting to build, you want to have this ideation stage. Like whenever someone is building a product, they won't just do it alone generally. You know, they're going to want to understand from different people's perspectives. So you could
Mhm.
almost ask the agent, okay, so from your perspective, imagine you're an ADHD, someone with ADHD, what would you find helpful what would you find helpful to manage your day to day? I even got to the point of researching, like it can research content on the internet, so you could even research about ADHD and give that agent that knowledge that is grounded, so
Mhm.
you know it's calling on
Yeah.
information that is accessible. Um,
And
so
I'm just curious here, just again a technical question. Like when you say about agent, is it like an LLM, which you call LLM plus few custom prompts, which you convert into an agent out here under the hood? Like when an agent makes your mermaid chase plots. Basically, I think those are like yeah. When you
sorry, I
use the
don't know what the question was there after. I totally lost you.
no. So when you could talk about the agent does it, is it like the LLM in your app which is working as an agent? So when you use this mermaid JS, is that like how does that work actually? I'm just curious about the
Oh,
technicality part.
so
Yeah.
the Mermaid JS piece. Yeah, so but both of these are utilizing they're separate API calls. So the backend that
Hmm.
the Python backend that the AI has created is created one for the Cohere model, which then generates this. It streams it straight to the front end. Then it triggers another event where it then calls another API, again hosted
Uh-huh.
by Databutton, which is then that is an LLM. So it's calling GPT 4.0 with
I
a
see.
prompt that has been designed by me and the agent together.
Uh-huh. I
Um,
see.
yeah, so then that's what brings that.
And you use Cohere and the GPT-4o,
Yeah,
both the LLMs. I see.
yeah. And I think that's
Pretty
the thing about if you're going to use AI is using the right model for your use case. So, you
cool.
know,
Mhm.
and of course evaluating the cost of those and things like that. But I know how I want my information to be structured, and yeah, Cohere gives me the best response for that in a way
Yeah.
I know it's going to follow really well my instructions, and also the fact that it's got that tool that you can just put in connector equals web search and
Yeah.
it goes off, and that's all you need in the API. I mean, that's so quick, and you get the citations back. So citations are
Oh,
important for me to, especially when you're doing research and things like that. You want to know where the information's come from and have that traceability. Um,
pretty cool. Like it's a Cohere's tool usage, right?
yeah, yeah, but it's all, you don't have to worry too much about the agent side of it because the tool all that part is just taken care of with the API.
Hmm.
It's very quick to implement with Databutton because yeah, you're just taking it as a
Yeah,
whole
and
section.
yeah,
Can you put this
and
in for me? Thank you.
no, it's pretty good. Like so, you just take the context to Reader button, and it just generate the API for you, and that's it. That's all you
Yeah,
need
and you can also
to have that.
point it to the Cohere website and say, look, this is the API documentation.
Hmm.
Follow this, analyze this. And I would say as well, if you're using a prompt like that, like saying to it, research it first and then tell me what you're finding, like almost a bit of a giving it a chance to read it before it then starts actioning. I always say priming your prompts first is a very good tip. It's giving it that context. If you imagine like a little window and saying, look, let's give you all this information. Now let's do it because I know that you know what I know.
Uh-huh. No,
So
actually,
yeah,
I think that's a great point. Actually, to prime the agent beforehand, just add a context to it and say that, yeah, you go and research it, grab the context for me, and
yeah,
then go for the like the execution prompt. I think that's a great strategy, to be honest. Yeah,
yeah.
I do
And
that
I mean,
often. Also, yeah.
yeah, and I would say as well, like people who are using Databutton, it's good to it's good to kind of get familiar with prompting as well. One thing I do with the children when we're learning about AI and how to talk to AI, which I'll go into in a minute with Sparky's Lab, is we do the peanut butter and jelly sandwich challenge, where
Oh,
if anyone's not familiar with that, they go off and they write the instructions of how
uh-huh.
to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Then they'll come back and they'll read them out, and the other person makes them exactly as they've said. And what you start seeing is as they start reading out their instructions, they've made so many assumptions, but that person's been told, do it exactly as they've said to you. So you'll have
Hmm.
someone say, put the jelly on the knife. And instead of putting the knife in the jelly to put the jelly on, they'll put the
Uh-huh.
jelly on the knife. And it just makes them go, oh, okay. And they start just being a bit more specific about what they're asking for, like being very, a bit more detailed and a bit more, giving a few more instructions rather than just assuming that it knows everything.
Oh,
Yeah, so it's just a little thing we do. It's quite fun.
well, that's pretty cool. I was just checking that it just showed me that there is having a trouble streaming at X. So I think we're having some trouble with streaming over X, but it's working well with LinkedIn and hopefully with YouTube.
Great. Okay.
Yeah, all good. Yeah, no worries. Please go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a new Neuro Mermaid AI. That's a project which you have built. That's pretty cool. And I think you have also built other projects. We
Yeah.
did. I would love to know. I mean, and also I would love to know like when you start building in Data Button, what's your roadmap? Like how you start, from where do you start,
Mm.
and how do you like envision the architecture of your app, and then you slowly come to the final version or the final MVP, let's say. I mean
Yeah.
that roadmap.
Well, I think my ideas come when I'm least expecting it. I know this next one I'm going to show you was literally like I woke up one morning and I was like, oh my God, I could totally do this. Like it just came to me, this idea. And knowing that I have access to Databutton, I was like, well, I could just explore. Let's just experiment. What can go wrong? So then when I'm thinking about it, I do like to take that step back and just think a little bit about the why, like as well, because
Mhm.
okay, why am I going to need this? And just have that validation before I put that effort in. But then my experiment here was a bit about, okay, how can I make a sandbox environment for children to then use AI to build their own games? So with that, I had to step back and think about what that would look like, what tools would I use. So then that's when I work with the agent and just to have a bit back and forth about, okay, well, what environments are there? Like, how do people normally do this? Because I had no idea. Like, I'm not. Yeah, I've never built anything like that before, but that's
Oh.
okay because I know I've got this partner of someone who has access to the internet, is able to
Uh-huh.
talk to me about these things. I don't have to feel like, not that I do, but I feel that some people might feel a bit silly asking questions like that to someone, and generally they might like, because they might think, oh, it's such a silly question, but I mean, I don't mind that at all. I literally
Like
all my cards on the table. I don't care about looking silly, but
like for me
you,
also it's very same, like me coming from academia, and there is always one saying that, yeah, even if it's stupid, just ask the question, doesn't
yeah,
matter, like just ask it.
yeah, just
And I
ask
think
it.
that's something which I mean I think that's a normal human psychology, like if I ask this, is it too stupid to ask? But I think that's something which solves a lot of doubts in mind. I totally get that. But yeah, I
Yeah,
also get the part where people overthink that, and I think it's with all of us.
yeah, absolutely. But I think with Data Button, like in with the agent, just ask the question. No one,
With AI,
you've
yeah.
got nothing to lose. And I think being curious about what things are, how they work. So, for example, when I first started using, I think, yeah, when I first knew that we were switching from Streamlit to React front end, I had never seen that
Yeah.
before in my life. And I remember being on a call with Martin, and he was showing me, and I was like, oh, literally my reaction was like, oh my gosh, I don't even know what this code is. That was my
Mhm.
initial reaction. And then I thought, but then I saw the output and I was like, wow, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm on this. I will learn this.
I
But
think
I
that
didn't
was
really have to learn too much because the agent was there.
yeah.
And the things I kind of needed to understand a bit was about, you know, how are APIs created. Like I know what an API is through my
Mhm.
experience with, but I didn't really understand how to make them. Like, what is a router? What is that? Like, yeah. But then I asked the agent, and it explains to me like what are components.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like things like that. And I think
Yeah.
giving yourself that extra knowledge whilst you're using the app and using the agent in that way will just help you to have a bit more context to how you're building,
Mhm.
um, based on my
No,
experience.
I totally get you. Like for me also, if I'm working with some new packages or something, I
Mm,
rather would like yeah. There was a time I used to go and Google it, or I used to go over Stack Overflow and see what's happening.
yeah.
But now I think with any agent like with ChatGPT or with any LLM, even with Databutton also, most of the time what I do is I ask it like if I need to debug this, what would be the steps? And yeah, and then I add an extra line like don't write any codes, don't execute anything.
Yeah.
Just tell me what would be your plan. And the best part is it actually it aligns with my thinking also. And then
Hmm.
slowly from there we restart the entire workflow. Like we said, okay, so this is something which the agent said, can I just go from here again? And that workflow somewhere worked pretty well. Like this exactly, like someone with whom I can discuss and go forward. And I think yeah, I totally agree here and totally get you. And the and also especially in data button, this agentic nature, this conversation, it helps a lot,
Yeah,
especially
definitely.
when you hit the roadblocks. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
Cool. Well,
And
should we go
when
into
there
the
was
next one?
yeah, sorry, just want to add like when there was like at times I also tried with ChatGPT,
Mm,
and it's also helped me a lot. Like most of the time, I segregate the workflow or the code into chunks in ChatGPT first, and then also I use it in Data Button, like kind of like working alongside with Data Button plus ChatGPT. It's
yeah.
also a very good workflow.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. You were saying something for the
yes,
next
but
application.
the next app is so this one is designed for children.
Mm-hmm.
Um, at the moment, it's like primary school children. My son's 9,
Oh,
and a lot of the children that in the coding club are around about that age. So this is Sparky. So this,
uh-huh.
this image was generated with AI. He
Wow.
just looks so cute, and then Oliver agreed. So I was like, right, we're having that one. um, but this environment here is a safe place for children to come and experiment with AI. And the way that they do it is they can actually create new projects. So when they click create new project, they have a chat interface. And let's just ask for a memory card game. There's a few UI things I'm working on here, but this is running. And what we'll get is in the code backend, it's kind of generating the code with AI. So this is using GPT 4.0, and it's taken a little while. I'm working on the.
It can be
So while we wait for it,
because
it's working. Hmm?
it can be because someone says that Derek is saying you all started this at the same time when OpenAI started their live. So maybe like people are trying it out or something. Check it out. Who ca- who cares about open? I
um,
agree. I agree. I'm a bit biased, but yeah, I do agree.
so here we
But it
go.
is
We've got
cool.
a lovely little game. And I've made it so it doesn't give you everything at once because
Oh wait,
what I want
wait.
children
So you just asked a memory card game, and then
Mhm.
Sparky. Oh wow, that's super cool.
Yeah, so you can see the code. So I've made it simple in the way that it does like a single
Uh-huh.
page, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Um,
Wow.
but for them, like what I'm asking them to do is ask for something specific. So they're asking for a memory card game, and it will give them quite a basic one. And the way that they'll build up their skill set is being like, well, actually, is this a good user experience? I want a score. So you then prompt again. So can you make it so we
Mm-hmm.
get a score? So what there's another area in here which is like a guided learning project
I see.
where it will help them understand what to ask for. This was very much inspired by my experience with Databutton, and I found that what really helped me was to understand what I can do. So
Mm-hmm.
it's the inspiration piece. It's knowing that there are libraries out there and tools out there that I can integrate into my application. There are pictures I can take and then ask the AI to make it look like that. You know, it's knowing, again, it's that you don't know what you don't know. And these children they're very used to a memory card game, maybe with the score and with everything in it. But then they're the ones that are now going to add those elements. So the next prompt might be add a score. So whenever I flip one, then give me 10 points, or make it random so I get different points. So the guided learning projects are going to help them to learn game mechanics. And I think the passion behind this is for children in the future, like the way I see it, the fact that this is here now for us, Databutton, and what we're doing, and then what we can achieve. The children aren't necessarily having to learn. They can have a choice for a new type of learning experience. We don't have to be rigid in our let's teach them code if they don't want to. Like, this is so much more accessible. When I talk about coding in school, they find it quite intimidating, especially at that age, because there's a lot of syntax to learn. It's like learning a new language, and they don't get enough time to learn that language in school. But what they can do here is have this kind of instant, oh, I can achieve something here and I can make it my own. And I just need to use my voice, like my words. And it's just learning how to use my words correctly to get what I want. So it's that very early stage Databutton, children coming through. I'm building the next Databutton builders, hopefully. So it kind of inspires them to think, or to know what they can create. And there's all different ways they could take this into a new career. So they could be part of the game design. They could learn how to code, so they can do this a lot more, a lot better, like go into like 3D games or something. But at this moment they're having with Sparky right now is giving them this instant, like, oh my God, I made that, and I can make this my own. I can make the emojis different. I've actually added images, so they can add. It's a safe place using Pixabay to find an image and then ask it to add that image or add a background. So yeah, I guess it's just this environment and the children love it. So I've tested it out on, it's about 60 children who have been using it, plus the Coding Club children. And you'll see on the project page, if you go home and on the explore section, you'll see all their games. So you've got lots of like Hangman and stuff. It's just taking a sec to load. They absolutely love cookie clicker games. They love them.
I get it. And I mean, I can imagine, like, this is
websites. What they got here? Mixing colors. So, got ghosts. So yeah, all sorts of different games that they're creating, and I just love to see the variety, like piano, ice cream clickers. Yeah, so there's all sorts of stuff. And what I like about this as well is they'll go in and view other people's games, and they can actually reimagine them. So let's imagine I like this one. I click reimagine. That now becomes my project, and I can then use that as a starting point, and I can make it a different color. I can, so this is my project now.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
I can call it what I want. So it's just that whole take something and then make it, your own as well.
Yeah, that's really nice. Yeah. And what is it like? So basically, this is like running within Databutton, the entire stuff out here, designed with Sparky plus the game. the preview and the code out here.
Yeah.
And
So
when
this
they
is a page
publish it,
and it's got
yeah.
multiple components. So I've also got, so it's got Firebase authentication and it's got Firebase data store as well. So all the
Okay.
children's work is stored within their user account. If someone reimagines a piece of work, that just takes the code and assigns it to their collection. So in their users, so everything's kind of
That's pretty
segmented.
cool.
And there's also like they can like each other's projects and stuff like that. So yeah, it's quite
And
cute.
all this and all. So I imagine that, yeah, for each student, whenever there is a new code generated, you store them back in your Firebase
Yeah.
database, and then any likes or anything, you just store everything there. Oh, that's a
Yeah.
pretty good idea,
They can
actually.
publish it and unpublish. So if they don't publish it, it just stays as their own project. If they publish it, it then goes live so everyone can see it and reimagine it, like it. So
Wow.
yeah, it's
It's like
quite
a
a few.
mini, yeah, yeah, within Databutton, a mini game for kids. That's so nice. It's pretty good.
There's like 205 projects or something. It's ridiculous.
Super
But
cool.
there's another thing I started adding. So this is something which I'm working on, is the guided projects. So it helps them learn how to, the bit where they will kind of develop their skills a bit more, and the other place is a playground to then test their skills and make it their own. But this learning section is, somebody's closed the thing. You've got this space here where they've got create a tic-tac-toe game, so they'll have like a little prompt help. And so this is important because it teaches them about, okay, what is it you want to do? What do you want to build? And then what is it that you're going to test? So this is an important thing, I say, with Databutton as well, is when you've asked for something, is that testing? Just make sure that it's doing what you think it's doing, because there might be disconnecting in anything with communication. What you think is happening might not be happening because of the way you asked for it.
Exactly.
So it's not you, Databutton, it's me. I was doing that. So yeah, with the prompts as well, so you can get like a prompt suggestion and then use this prompt, it sends it in there, create the design. Yeah, so, and then once they've done it, they can just click that, keep going. Yeah, look, nice confetti. And I think it's only got one question on it. Has it got one? Oh, I didn't click it. Oh, that's question 2. Yeah, so once you then get them, you get badges at the end as well. So once they've completed them all, so you make it play against the computer, you can add a scoreboard. So it's just walking them through what it is that they're going to build. I'm just cheating here just to get you through. So yeah, when you complete all the steps, it gives you a little message, and then you can keep improving it your own, or you can return to the home page. But yeah.
And no, I'm just wondering. I think this is pretty good. Okay, this is really nice. And I'm just wondering, like, so when you design this kind of project in Databutton, like, what's the time frame this took you to build this entire Sparkies lab in Databutton?
I had the idea on it was a Sunday, and on Tuesday I was testing it with the coding club.
Wow.
They were using it. So, and I didn't spend that much time on it. It didn't have all the bells and whistles that you're seeing now because I've iterated on it, but I had the point where I could get them in the app, authenticated. They could use the chat. They could generate a game. I could do my first testing. And I'd say that's always important before you go way too deep into your project, is test it. Because I could have given them this game and they're like, this is rubbish. I don't want to do this. And then I'll be like, okay, all right. Because just because I have an idea doesn't mean everyone else likes it. But they absolutely loved it. And I was like, yeah, let's go.
No, it's actually a very good way of understanding if the app is good enough for others, because you're building for someone else, and it's great to know. I'll just quickly answer this question, like, how much help can non-coders expect with your launch plan? Yeah, so usually if it's help from the Databutton team or the Discord community, for sure we help a lot when it comes to. So please reach us out via the intercom message somewhere. Elle, can you show? There is an intercom box in the bubble box which is in Databutton. You can just reach us via that in the launch plan. Also in the launch plan, the help comes from the Discord community, where Elle is there, Mike, they all are there. I will also chip in there, and we can always help you for any questions that comes while building. That's right.
And can I add on to that one as well? So Richard, you mentioned about help for non-coders. Yeah, it's kind of, I would say that this is actually a good space for people that are non-coders, like as well. Like you don't necessarily need to understand code at all. Like even now, I don't remember the last time I looked at the code. I used to quite a bit to begin with because I just wanted to understand it, but I didn't need to. And I think one thing is just, I think, to work on is to be a good prompter and to kind of know what you want, like really plan
That's a
it.
great point. That's
Yeah.
right. I
If
think
you can
prompting.
speak, if you can speak well and articulate yourself well and be a good prompter, you're going to go far with this. Like it doesn't take coding, and that's what's amazing about this is,
Yeah,
you can.
I totally resonate with that. Like prompting is very crucial while building, and
Mm,
basically in Databutton, like, you have to converse a lot with the agent and plan with it, and then you build it. It's not like you just write it down; it will just build everything. If
mhm.
you're non-coder, and it helps a lot while going through each and every hurdles, the task feature or the step by step how you build it. That also very important. And it's something which a very valid point. The prompting is very important.
Yeah, definitely.
Plus the Discord support and the intercom, which you can always reach us for sure.
Yeah, there's always someone there. Love it. You guys are awesome. Shall I show the final app, which is, I'm quite excited to say, is actually one for you guys, the Databutton community. So,
Please do. I'm really excited. I mean, I know you have shared with the community once, but I would really love to like get a quick overview of it. How?
yeah, I don't think I've shared this at all. It was in the I haven't
Or
shared.
okay. It was a very pre-version which you discussed that you were building something like that. Yeah, right. Exactly. Sorry.
Yeah. It was an initial
Right.
idea. So this, fully authenticated. So you can get yourself a just
Mm-hmm.
log in using Google. Yeah, we've got a Google account.
Perfect.
So what we've got here is a space for the community to kind of share resources, ask questions of each other. So of course we've got the Discord and got the intercom, but this is more like if you wanted to find out specifically information about, like for me, for example, I'm like subscription model ideas. Like I don't really understand how that works, and if anyone's implemented it, I'd love for people to let me know. Maybe like how can I add Stripe to my application? I know that Mike, you've popped this here, lovely. You know, this is the example of being able to just quickly whiz some information to people. I'll be able to add a search feature on here, so if you have a specific question, you might be able to find that someone else has already asked it and they've shared some links. And then if I'm happy with the solution with Mike, I'll be like, oh yeah, I'll accept that one. Or other people can start writing. So then we've also got a resources section. So this is where you can add resources for other people to learn from. So for example, I've popped in the LLMU from Cohere. They've got some great sections on prompting. It's complete university to understand AI and AI models. So it might help you to get a bit more knowledge and background about not just building, but also how to speak to it. And of course, you've got the Databutton University, so the official documentation. But I can imagine this space growing, like everyone's knowledge collectively coming into one space. Like we'll just have real great resources that we can share with each other. And the final one is tools. So this will help you to be inspired about what kind of tools you might be able to use within Databutton. And as I say, this is new and it's just me adding a few things. But I found this really cool package. Like
This is more like different, different packages, the Firecrawler, the Mermaid. That's right. Yeah.
And this is an API. So if you ask, you've got the official documentation, so you could just share that with the agent and be like, can you integrate this into a backend and provide me with the data? It could be a data feed, or someone can use the search themselves, and then you have that calling it and bringing it back. There's lots of use cases for that within an agent, AI agent, things like that. Also, the mermaid diagram one I've got there. But again, this space could grow a lot. Like there's so many people with so many different ideas and different tools. It's just a way to bring it all together in one place with people that are building. Just go to and go, oh, I wonder if someone's done that already. So I'd say it's very much, when did I start doing this? This literally took me, I was saying to Mike, because I was in between seeing Santa, and then we had a Santa kind of carnival thing, and then I came home, did some more before put my son to bed, did some more, and so I'm just in and out of it. But it was super quick, like it didn't, and I think it's because I kind of understand a bit about like what to ask for, and it's taken me a little bit of time. But once you kind of, one thing I mentioned in the prompts was about a really good key is to use very similar patterns that are used by other websites. So with this, for example, I was prompting with the agent, just saying, look, I want to build this Q&A platform that people can share resources and tools. Can you find other applications that do that? And it found like Stack Overflow and things like GitHub discussions. So, and then I asked it to tell me about those features, which then inspired me to think, okay, yeah, okay, that's good. So the familiarity side of it for the user experience is people feel more engaged with your app and can use it more effectively if they are using a platform or a pattern that they're familiar with. So
That's right.
You don't have to reinvent the wheel, just make it your own. And that's what's so good about Databutton is this came up white to begin with, which is fine, but I wanted it a bit darker. So I found this, I was looking and I found this website, and there was like all these shapes on it and stuff. I was like, I really love those colors. And I just worked with the agent, and yeah, this is what we came up with. It's still a few tweaks here and there to do, of course, like a few things that I need to fix, but
For sure.
yeah.
That's great. I really like it. And so from this prompting to building the authentication, or to just build the features, like how difficult would you say, like how do you rate it, like in your button? Is it everything just via prompt you have did, or you try to code yourself, like if I'm not wrong, like did you try to change anything in the back end or in the front end?
Nothing. I don't need to. Yeah. I literally am just asking for what I want. And that is the future. Like, I know it's quite hard to take, isn't it? Especially when people do this work, but it's like we've got to this point now with AI where it can do that very effectively. And I think the people that are in those roles that are hands-on at the moment, hopefully for them, they can kind of grow more skills. So they might be deep in the code and doing the code, but actually what you'll find is they can now be a bit more creative, and they can do more. They can build more. They can, I just think it's just going to be this exponential growth of just skill sets increasing, just having these assistants and agents working with us. I've seen it in myself. I could never even imagine that this time last year, I could never even imagine that I would have built apps like this. There is no way. I was trying to learn. I would have had to do a full course. I would have had to probably, I was doing my apprenticeship in AI and data science at the time, and I thought, well, I need to finish this one first, because
it's more fun. Yeah, to build. No,
I'm glad I finished.
Totally relate to you here. No, I totally agree. Super cool. I'll just answer to this, like someone says that I think I'll just show this, but I'm really sorry for that we couldn't respond in the last 4 days, but please reach us over Discord or the live intercom. We'll make sure that we answer it. Okay, it's not that, yeah, things have been pretty much going on here, but we'll make sure that we reply back. Please write to us over Discord. I'm pretty sure we'll just get back. Yeah. And Michael says, this time 2 weeks ago, I never thought I would have built what I have built in it.
Yeah,
great.
It's insane.
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah. So, would you like to show a bit of any of your apps, maybe like the workspace, or that would be great. Just a quick overview.
Let's log in. So let me see. Sign in.
Yes, we can connect to the Superbase. We also have a Firebase integration already now, and Superbase is also in the pipeline. But yeah, it can do it because I think the last live stream, Dom was there, I think last 2 weeks, and he showed how he connected Superbase via the Python backend. That's pretty straightforward to do. Also, it's like couple of prompts if you want to do from via the front end as well. But we right now have already a Firebase integration now. That's way more easier to do that as well. So yeah.
So this is under the hood of the Databutton builders. You can see here that I've got Firebase initiated there, and this is where we chat with the agent. So the one thing I love about with chatting with the agent is, like, for me with having ADHD, I find it very difficult to see it all at once. And honestly, I wasn't reading it, and things were going wrong. And I was just like, yeah, okay. And there's too much to read for me. And I was like, oh, I just got lost. So I absolutely love this, because it means if I see this and I'm like, well, let's have a little peek, I can have a look, I can skim it, read it more if I need to, but it's not like instantly in my face. So it's really great UI in that way. One thing I'd say as well is what's really important to do is when you are talking to the agent, so just a little tip here, is to use the tag. So can you make say for example, we're looking at the navigation.
I use this a lot.
Yeah, like always tag it, because this is, again, we talked earlier about being able to give it context, like proper context. This feature will specifically hone it in on that. Like it's super important. So yeah, if I'm prompting anything, also, I type, and sometimes my words are so incomprehensible. Like I'll type because I've got this new keyboard, and honestly, it's like
I think it
quite close together, but my typing and it still understands what I'm talking about. So yeah,
for me also, like it happens so often whenever I type it first. But somewhere like that's totally like, and I also use this hashtag feature a lot. That comes pretty handy while working with it.
It's so good, so good. And also I like the generate ideas as well. These are really good if you're just starting out and you're not too sure where to start and where to go. But I would say do read them first and make sure it's what you want. Again, I think it's really important to know we're the human in the loop here, and we are the random variable in this whole experience, because it can differ from person to person, just like anything. Like if you are it's so hard to be able to build systems like this. Massive kudos to the team, because any tweaks when you're working with agents can just throw things off. So another thing
on the same part, I will also add one thing which I also use a lot is the screenshot out there.
Yes,
that's something which helps me a lot. I think you mentioned also before that to give a like a wireframe or just a architecture of it, you paste it there and then just add a prompt to as a context. It does pretty well actually. Like if I would rank, please go ahead.
Sorry, I was just going to show, like, literally all I need to do is
that would be great actually.
I'll go into like Google, and this is a really good thing to do, is just search for modern website applications that help with managing resources or something like that. Just look around and have a feel for what's out there and what you like, and then just paste it in here. Like literally that's it. And I'll be like, can you make my app this theme? It will go off, and it will literally just, you'll start seeing things change in front of you. It's just absolutely beautiful. So yeah, having that vision, agent with vision, is just really helpful. Yeah, you can get quite hacky with this as well. See where you can take it.
I really agree. Like you can do a lot in this part also, and also I think recently we added this custom instruction out there. That's also pretty handy. The custom instruction, which we see in the config section. I think it's that's out there.
So the config section is always good to have a look, because it looks so pretty now. Look at all this change.
It's with a lot of tabs. Yeah. Pretty good.
Yeah, actually. I like it. No, it's organized now. It's nice. So it's just like giving the agent a lot more information, just being able to fill this in a bit more if you can, especially as you start building it out. But with the agent custom instructions,
you already have one. Nice.
Yeah, so I find it really helpful, because the agent, again, like the agent will do things. If you imagine the way that it's been designed for us, is some people would like to have it deployed, to be prompted to deploy it. Well, as I was using it, I was like, I don't really want that, because I'm not ready. I'll know when I'm ready. So you can just say, don't ask me to deploy all the time. So just check, that's great. And that means I can make it personalized for me. It's very good to put that, use Firestore database for all data storage. Again, just
I think otherwise, That's a
Yeah.
good hack also. That's true.
Yeah, so you can just kind of tweak it based on how you like to work. And this is a great one.
Yeah.
Design theme. So secrets is really important. I don't have any APIs built in yet, but I'm looking to add for you guys. I want to build in a Cohere chatbot, so it will be able to search Databutton's documents.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
But yeah, this is where you store your secrets. It's super simple, and then you've got collaborators. So
Am I the nice?
And if you want to install packages, so using the Python packages, this is where you don't have to do this. Like the agent, if you're using a library, again, for non-coders, you don't need to even know about this section because the agent will do that. If you've asked it to add something and then it's built an API, it will know that the packages aren't installed and it will store it for you. You don't need to worry about that because it can be quite intimidating. But yeah,
That's
very smart.
Pretty cool. Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Please go ahead.
No, it's just humming.
No. I think this was a great overview actually, and I totally agree. Like those few features, the new features out there, and the way it's organized now, it makes it much more easier to work and to go through each and every part.
Definitely.
Yeah, and also like
we got the expander. I know
sorry?
this was a thing. If you see the
file
component.
structure, right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So.
Have I got any time?
No, you have all the time. We have
A few
another
minutes.
5 to 10
One
minutes.
thing
For
I
sure.
just want to say is really powerful, especially if you are, I say, a non-coder coming into this, is being able to use the tasks. So there's a prompt thread that I've put onto the prompt section in Discord. So you can actually work with the agent to generate these tasks with you. And by having these, I'll just show you a few that I'd have. I like to put in like a user statement so you can see it from the user point of view, what subtasks might be involved. I'm not writing these, the agent's giving me these. And then what you can then see is as they're worked on, when you start the task with the agent is actually updating this to say what it's doing. So you've got this thread of what's happening and what's been done, and also the agent will have that as well. This was one of my most favorite updates from Databutton. I think I remember just being like, wow, because it just changed a lot. I think for me, I like to fill a bit more task. I had to be actually not just that I have to be sometimes a bit more task orientated. So to stay focused, otherwise I get very distracted. One of my quotes.
No, I totally understand that. No, it's pretty useful feature also, the task also, like the way you can actually kind of have a list of tasks which you want to do later, and you can just click it, the agent takes it directly in the prompt section, and then you go on from there. It's a very good
sometimes you'll be building and you'll be like, I really want to add this, but I'm halfway through this other thing. And then you don't want to forget it. So yeah, just whack it in.
I totally get that.
Yeah.
Wow, this was great. I mean, I think the prompt suggestions and all the features which you just suggested, it's great to hear, and I completely agree. Those are the top fives, I would say. The image to prompt, and also the use of hashtag for referring to the features. That's really good, and also the custom instruction. Nowadays, I'm using that a lot. That's right.
Yeah.
Cool. Are there any questions? Yeah, the self-hosted. I'm not sure if that would be easy to use self-hosted Superbase. Actually, I'm not so sure about it. I think it won't be that easy to connect to a self-hosted one. I may be wrong. Okay, please, please write to us over Discord. I think one of us can answer it. Like either Martin or someone from the tech team can answer this. The self-hosted Superbase. Right, I missed that part. Yeah, and oh yeah, Michael suggested this feature. Now we can lock files too. Yeah. That's super easy actually.
Yeah.
That feature helps a lot when you know which particular file you want to change or you don't want to change.
Yeah. But you can see everything that it's created for me. And again, I don't need to understand this in great detail. I say for non-coders, it's kind of broken into sections. Like this is a page. So when I see a page, it's like home. I'm not logged in here, but then you'd have like the page that's showing all the QA and stuff like that. But then the components are what make up these sections. So this could be a component. But if you're not sure, ask the
Mm-hmm.
agent. Like as we said earlier about just no questions, silly. Educate yourself with Databutton. Like,
No,
it's there for you.
yeah. No, that's also one great way, I would say. Also, I would think this app which you're building for the community, that would be super useful for sure.
I'll share the
Mm,
link in the
please
Discord.
do.
As I
Please do.
say, I'll still be working on a few elements of it, but I'd love it if you could join and then maybe just contribute resources and tools for other people to learn from. That'd be really cool.
That would be great. I think a lot of people from the community can also add to that. I'll
Yeah.
be very much looking forward to that. I'll just answer one last question. I want to build an app that will need to create various reports that need to be downloaded in PDF format in order to print them. Is this possible? I think it's very much doable in Data Button.
Yeah.
Various reports, yes, and then download in a PDF format. It should be very much doable. I think also in one of the last live stream, one of the use case was very similar to this.
It
Download as a
was.
PDF format, and
Mhm.
we have one of the tutorial over our docs how to do that. I think it should be very much doable.
I'd
Yeah.
say, Richard, as well, like go into build your first app and just work with the agent, ask the question,
Hmm.
and get it researching for you, research internet, and just be like, I don't know where to start. And be really honest with it and just say, don't write code yet at this point. I
Yeah.
just want to understand what I need to do. Is it possible? And then from there, you can feel a bit more comfortable and see whether
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, I'm very sure that use case will be absolutely fine. Yeah, you'll be
Yeah,
fine.
no, I agree. I agree. Like to brainstorm with the agent, to
Mhm.
not write the code and just brainstorm with the agent a bit more, and then I think agent can guide you towards building this app. I agree for sure. Okay, I think that was great. We almost, yeah. Okay, a few comments were there, but I'm not sure what the thread is, but all good. So it was good. I think we actually learned a lot from your three projects. I think, and I'm pretty sure you're building a couple of more, but this is great to hear. And also the prompt tips and the your hacky way of prompting with data button. I think that's super. Okay, and I'm looking forward for this particular app which you're building, and I'm sure a lot of people will also from the community will also join it, can contribute to it. Meanwhile, if anybody wants to join the Discord uh, group link. I think I have. Let's see if I have this here already or not. Yeah, actually, I created this this QR code. So please scan it, or I can also share a Discord link later in the description section of this live stream. Please join it via that. It'll be great to have everyone in that section of Discord, and we can just brainstorm and build a lot of apps like this. Cool. Okay, then. That's all for this, the third live stream. We'll just come with more in coming days. And thank you again, El. Thank you.
No,
Thank you
thank
for,
you so much for having me on.
yeah, it's
Great
a
to see
pleasure.
you.
Thank
Bye,
you.
guys.
Cheers, guys.
Bye.